So my name is Janice Glenn, and I am here with my esteemed colleague Kapila, who will help us with the polling. We are going to record this webinar so that you can listen later if that is something you choose to do. The topic is leading positive change, and I have been a VISTA trainer and an AmeriCorps trainer for 20 years. So it's been a great joy and to work with such wonderful, wonderful people. So let's begin. Let me just share the first slide. Okay, so leading change is a critical skill. Leading positive change is even more critical, especially in these ever-changing times and so much uncertainty. So it is important for leaders to develop a skill of leading in a positive way, in leading that change. So I have researched some information about leading positive change and have I really do like Rosabeth Moss-Cantor's work. She has a book called Confidence. She has a book called Change Masters, which is an excellent book. And she talks about 6 keys to leading positive change. And she talks about, if you want to say, have this huge goal of making the world a better place, which we all want to do, that in order to really do that with people, it's about giving people skills and giving people tools and giving people resources. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the very first key to leading positive change, according to Rosabeth Moss-Cantor, is called showing up. Your presence really makes a difference. Making yourself available, accessible. People that in leading change, any kind of change can be very uncomfortable. It can make people feel afraid, threatened. So as a leader of positive change, you have to embody confidence in this change and to make yourself accessible and be able to hear and listen to. Sometimes people will feel great loss when there's a change because they'll miss the old ways, even though you are presenting this great, powerful, and positive image. So you have to understand where people are, okay? So that is very, very important. So showing up, when President Obama was relatively unknown and he showed up at that Democratic convention years ago and spoke, that's when his presence became known. So it's about showing up, even if you're young and new and all that good stuff. So let's change my slide here. The second key, okay. Okay, another just couple points that we just really touched upon, that leading change is a critical skill and it's about inspiring and engaging your people. It's a lot about, and I know you've had webinars on emotional intelligence, it's a lot about leading with emotional intelligence because you need to relate to how people feel, to how people are addressing and feeling comfortable with change. So, just change this. So the second key, according to Rosabeth Moss-Cantor, is speaking up. To use the power of your voice. As leaders, you need to tell compelling stories, to be able to persuade, to be able to influence people, and to help them see the vision that you have of the positive change in your organization. So it's about helping people see and feel included in shaping the agenda of change, framing issues so that people can, it's almost like being a mirror. So you're showing people this vision of change and you're being a mirror so that you can reflect back to them the power of this image, of this positive change. So it's a way to help them see in a new way. So I love the quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. Is speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Maggie Kuhn. She was the head of the Gray Panthers, and just a really influential person. So, so thought leaders, they facilitate learning. So learning is all a part of this process as well. So again, in speaking up, the power of story. Andy Goodman is a good resource for all of you. He actually trains nonprofits into how to tell your story, and he has a free newsletter that you can all just sign up for. Andy Goodman. It's called Free Range Thinking. Very important for leaders to tell powerful and compelling stories. So where's the organization now? Where do we want to go? How do we get there? And why? Why is this all happening? And here's the emotional intelligence part, that third bullet. Let the staff discuss tensions and resistance to change. Because if you ignore that, you're not going to have folks invested in creating change. So it's about listening, all the good stuff we do at PSO, active listening, communicating with confidence, letting people be heard, letting these tensions be out as opposed to buried somewhere, which only causes resentment and more fear. So it's really important to engage in conversation, okay? And another thing too is to give people some structure. So the most influential person in a meeting is a person or a leader that names the problem and gives people an idea for action. So again, giving people resources. Here's the change we want, but here's how we're all going to get there. So, and if you have any questions or anything while we're doing this webinar, please just write in the chat, and I'll try and respond as we go forward. Or if you'd like to share a change experience that you've had as a leader, we'd love to hear that too. I know it's hard to engage in a webinar, but we want to make it as interactive as possible. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that chat. So the third key is look up. Again, the vision, blue sky vision. Thinking of things that help people feel this vision is beyond all of us. It's bigger than all of us. And without that, leadership can be hollow. You have to convey the principles and bigger, the bigger blue sky vision. You have to engage that and paint a picture of it, really, really create it for people. Okay. So every meeting, if you're going through a change process, as a leader, every meeting should remind people about that big picture vision, about the values that you all share. It's something that is ongoing. It can't just be, you talk about change in a certain time. It has to be part of the culture, because what you're doing is, if you're leading positive change, you're actually starting to change the culture to embrace change. And so that would be incredibly valuable to have that happen, to create that culture. Okay, so again, the key of looking up, connect to values, as we talked about. Again, stories, direct experiences to make change a moral, a human issue. There's an example of a restaurant, a person who was a restaurateur. He owned the restaurant, and he helped staff connect to the value of hospitality. So rather than just customer service, hospitality has a different feel to it, doesn't it? It a different feeling. So he shared powerful stories of meaningful guests' experiences and really demonstrated how they felt um, so welcome and had a feeling of hospitality. So again, the power of story and telling, painting pictures of what you want to see happen. Any questions? Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, so again, looking up, stand on a positive higher ground. You know, this kind of attitude, this kind of mindset of being positive it actually is contagious. It's like when, when you're around positive people, it's like a magnet. You know, you don't want to be around grumpy people. It's just human nature. We want to be around people that are happy, that convey positive energy. So a person that's generally happy and positive will mirror these qualities. And the emotions of others uh, proven to affect people's thinking. This is research. This is not just sort of touchy-feely type um, comments here. This is actual research of showing that if you are a positive person, it impacts people around you, it impacts their thinking and their ability to make decisions, which is, as leaders, that's what we want. Just change here. Okay. So the fourth key of teaming up, you know, we are better together, definitely. We are all interdependent. So everything goes easier with partnerships. Um, we are all motivated and feel supported when there's a collective effort. When we hold everyone accountable, it moves things forward. And accountability is about, it's not blaming, it's just having people commit to their responsibilities and follow through. So, and again, a quote that I love that I think is invaluable when it comes to thinking about leading positive change is Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Again, that sort of, um, sort of moving people to action through their emotions is what Maya is talking about here. She was such a hero herself. So again, a few more points about teaming up. Change leaders have to go beyond storytelling, although the storytelling is critical. It has to be compelling and powerful and touch people. But then if once you have that vision, that story that you've painted, that picture that you've painted, you need to help actually mobilize efforts. You need to help motivate people. You need to create action so that people know what to do. Because without that structure, just having a vision is not enough. You have to have the components of what moves a change management plan forward. You have to have those tools and resources. So leaders of positive change need to provide those resources so that an organization can succeed. Without those resources, that may not happen. I see a little typo here. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So the fifth key, never give up when it comes to leading positive change. Everything can look like a failure in the middle. You know, when you want to create change in your organization, you can describe your blue sky vision. Everyone gets excited. This is going to be amazing. So you have people check in and really excited about it, invested in it. In the middle, where the energy level might not be so excited at that point. People might be like, oh, I don't know, this is sort of getting difficult. There's obstacles, there's roadblocks. So, how do you keep that momentum going? So Cantor's Law is everything looks like a failure in the middle. Just expect it. Talk to people about it. Prepare them. There's always going to be roadblocks in everything we do. Um, so leading positive change requires the skill of resilience. Resilience, there's lots of research on resilience now. Um, actually, Sheryl Sandberg, who is the COO of Facebook. You may have heard she lost her husband quite suddenly. He was very young, and she has written a book called Option B, which is about resilience. And I heard her speak. It's quite a powerful book. But the skill of resilience is really being talked about so much now in so many areas because with the ever-changing culture, everything is changing constantly, that resilience has to be part of our leadership competence. And resilience basically means just bouncing back from mistakes, taking responsibility for them, bouncing back, you know, um, addressing it right away, finding the lessons learned from mistakes. It's that ability. It's like being a rubber band, that ability to stretch and bounce back pretty quickly. And Rosabeth Moss Kanter also talks about how surprises, in our culture right now, it's a global community. There is so much change. We have so much technology. We're pulled in many different directions. We're all multitasking. So it's become like in organizations now and in our cultures that surprises are almost the normal. It's not so unusual to be surprised at things. It's become part of our everyday existence. Now, also leading positive change, as it says, challenges are seen as opportunities, not roadblocks, but opportunities. What can we learn from this? What can we do with this challenge? How creative can we be in solving this challenge? Okay. Okay, so just a few more things about never giving up. As you know, Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Talk about a role model of never giving up. He emerged without vengeance, without without vengeance, or wanting to revenge anything. He became president, changed things for the better. There is an incredible role model of never giving up and not becoming bitter, but just moving forward and leading positive change. So he is certainly an example for all of us. So as it says here, change is inevitable in our lives. Um, some changes aren't always welcome. Sometimes we might say if change happens and we're not happy with it, why me? Why did this happen? Or we can say, gee, this happened. What can we do to move this forward? How can we make progress toward that big shiny goal that we have? It's not so much what happens to you in life, but how you react to it, which is the difference between holding on to that positive leadership and letting yourself, um, get depressed by some of the changes that happen. Okay. Questions, comments? No, not yet. Okay. Okay. So the sixth key is lift others up. Again, about the ability of working with a team to elevate each other, to praise each other. When an organization or a program is going through rapid change, everyone's feeling a little uncertain and a little bit nervous about change. That's a natural human response. So to lift each other up, to share successes, to build support for the future, that is your key to success. We can't do any of this alone. We are truly better together. So that's what we mean about that particular focus. So we're all teachers and learners. I like to put that working agreement out, particularly when you're thinking about lifting others up. We're all teachers and learners. As a leader, as VISTA leaders, as VISTAs, you are in leadership roles. For you to be able to lift others up, hear their voice, be on an equal, that guideline of, or the working agreement of we're all teachers and learners, makes us all equal in what we can offer. And I think that is truly wonderful, which is why often at PSOs we sit in a circle where we're all equally, our voices are equal in being heard and in seeing each other's faces. Um, So again, some of these lifting others up comes back to being an emotional, intelligent leader as well, building and like understanding that people will get a little nervous and change. So being empathetic, building trust. We're all in this together. We're all going to move forward together. Being self-aware, aware of your own emotions, aware of your own nervousness as a leader um, who's impacting change in an organization. So all that good stuff is is essential. Looking at the time here. Okay. So a few more things. Compassionate support of staff, volunteers. Again, that ability to empathize with people that might be really uncomfortable with change, to celebrate people's contributions, um, to recognize and celebrate in an authentic way. And again, that's for all teachers and learners. And when you make mistakes, go to your resilience. It's like a muscle. Resilience can be built. So build that resilience muscle. Okay. All right. So as with anything, in being a positive leader, um, you have to believe, you as a leader have to believe in your ability to create positive change. And that is what you have to convey to your staff, to your volunteers, to your VISTAs, to your members. You have to believe it yourself. And that's critically important. You have to believe it. So you have to believe that you can overcome hardship and adversity in yourself, and you have the ability to make a difference. That's what is your belief. So being positive and staying motivated, pursuing your vision, making a difference in the world is not something that you commit to, say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create this change, and then you just don't pay attention to it anymore. It's something you recommit every single day. So if you are in charge of changing your program, making these positive changes, leading this, it's something that you would present on a daily basis when you're at staff meetings, it's about recommitting this every day to this blue sky vision, this positive vision that you are leading. Okay, so and I like that. I do believe that everyone has leadership in them, and to see the potential of greatness in everyone, in everything. Leader, someone inspires, challenges, motivates. So the practical definition, optimistic regardless of how bad things are, hope for a better day. As a leader of positive change, those kind of qualities have to be present. Okay, and it's not that you'll be perfect. No one is, but when you make a mistake or when you can be authentic and honest about that. But for the most part, you do need to role model your belief in your ability to change. So, okay, so this says every day recommit to my goals and visions, and I already touched upon that. So it's a daily mantra. So leaders can create a change culture. So if you embark upon leading positive change, it ultimately can create the culture so that your organizational culture becomes used to, as part of it, it is about change all the time. because change is constant. It's everywhere. And that is it's always going to be that way. So by adopting a change culture, you and your staff and your volunteers and your members will be prepared and ready to meet challenges. The change becomes integral to the, your program. It's just part of it. It's expected, it's prepared for, and it's met with positive energy and commitment and enthusiasm. So, okay, so leaders, dig deep, be honest with yourselves. This is all about building a change culture. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Lead with positive practices. As with anything else, this takes practice. This is a daily commitment. Create a change culture when people know where leaders stand. When change is happening, people feel insecure, as we mentioned before, and can be fearful. So people need to know where you as leaders stand. They need to know, feel that sort of strength, if you will, that that belief. They can sense that belief that you believe change is possible. So they will respond positively to that because they're more willing to choose to follow. And they're like, okay, we can do this. That's a very important part of being a leader, to be clear of where you stand. Let your people know that. Okay. And again, the daily commitment to creating cultures of change and leading change. Attitude of gratitude, that's a great way to be positive, because we're human. Sometimes things do get us down. That's very human and normal. But when you adopt an attitude of gratitude, and sometimes it's really helpful to start a journal, and every night just write 3 things of what you're grateful for. It can change, it changes your attitude. It changes your approach. Okay, so very good practice to start. Leaders must possess a deep desire to emulate the right actions every day. So again, it's about the daily role model of leading with positive change. Respect garners respect. That's pretty self-explanatory. We treat others as we want to be treated, and that everyone is a teacher and everyone is a learner. And then everyone can be a positive leader. Again, that belief, that focus, that attitude, that approach. Okay. So practices. Positive practices equal productivity. It can increase positive emotions. It buffers against negative events and attracts and bolsters employees. Again, how VISTAs and VISTA leaders were always, and AmeriCorps were always worried about retention. If you become a leader of positive change and work on that every day for yourself, that's a way to retain talent, because people want to be around leaders who express positivity, who believe in their ability to change. That you become like a magnet. That's where you attract and retain talent. So in creating positive workplace culture, again, empathy, there you are with emotional intelligence again, fostering social connections. We are all better together. We're all interdependent. Go out of your way to help. Yes, go out of your way. Just be there as one of the team, helping, leading, supporting, motivating. You're all in this together, and always constantly, referring back to that blue sky vision, so that's visible for everybody. People have that in their mind. Oh, that's where we're going. How wonderful that will be when we get there. Encourage people to talk to you, especially about their problems. If people are very anxious, say you have a program director who is very anxious about any change, do some coaching. You all are great coaches with your vistas. Do some coaching with that person. Sit down with that person and ask some questions. Uh, be curious about what they're feeling so that you can listen and, provide some support and even challenge them to move forward as well. Okay, so in summary, make this a little bigger here. In summary, so a positive change workplace is more successful and increases positive emotions and well-being. People's relationship deepens. Their ability to use their strengths and their creativity is increased. You have buffers against negative experiences such as stress. It improves staff's ability to bounce back from challenges, which is the resilience we talked about, and difficulties. So bouncing back while bolstering their health. It is, as I said, there's tons of research on all this, but, having a positive attitude, having a sense of, I believe that I can make change is really, it's, a benefit to your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. So it attracts staff, makes people feel loyal to a leader who embodies positive change. Your organization it's an organization and it can bring out people's strengths because they're appreciated for their strengths. So that whole cultural thing happens. And then positive change cultures, higher levels of organizational effectiveness, customer satisfaction, productivity, staff engagement. These are all the things we're working towards. So that position of an embracing of being a leader of positive change leads to all that good stuff. And it's hard work. It's not that it's not, but it's so worth doing. Okay. And then there's just another resource that I put in here. I've read a lot about Harvard has this psychological graduate course that apparently there are so many students that want to get in it. They have to have it so many times a year, and they keep turning people away. So somehow this has tapped something really special for people. And these are I looked up the syllabus, and this is sort of the syllabus, the sort of chapter headings, if you will, of what they discuss. So the questions you'll ask, I think that based on that, Dr. Seuss, the places you'll go. Believe in yourself and others. We talked about that. Learn to fail or fail to learn. Give yourself permission to be human. Open up. Again, we mentioned journaling and or in person, coaching your vistas. Cultivate the merit finder. Express gratitude. Simplify. Relationships are critical. Remember the mind-body connection and differentiate yourself, be known. It's okay to do that. It's okay to, it's not about being egotistical. It's about celebrating your strengths and being authentic and saying, okay, like this is something I'm good at. That's okay. You can be known for that. That's a good thing. Introduce behavioral change now. Okay, so that's again all those practices we were talking about. Okay, so Marshall Gans is a great professor of leadership, and he writes that leadership is accepting responsibility to create conditions that enable others to achieve shared purpose in the face of uncertainty. And certainly in our world, in our country, there's a lot of uncertainty. So, it's just the way of the world now. So the ability to accept that responsibility and, help others, enable others to achieve a shared purpose, that's that blue sky vision, is essential. So, okay, and one other quote, and I'm willing to share this PowerPoint if you just want to send me an email, I'm happy to share it if it's helpful to you to use with your Vistas or whatever. But you could just send me an email. But I wanted to end with this because I really have focused a lot on language. Language forms thought. If you want to be a leader of positive change, your language is important. It has to be positive. It has to be constructive. It has to be not flowery, but celebrating strengths, praising that, building teams, all that good stuff. So Yehuda Berg writes, words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively with words of encouragement or destructively using words of despair. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. So I just found that very supportive of what we talked about as far as leading positive change, to think about our language. And I'm going to write my email in here because I see people want the slides. So that's my email address. If you send it to me, I'm happy to share this with you. So could I ask for, turn to you all to ask about experiences you've had leading change, or if you're in the middle of leading change now, or any stories that you could share with us. You could just write in that chat if you would. I hope you found this helpful. I do so enjoy, really thinking about this and trying to develop it in myself. It is something that the chat is disabled. Is that what? Someone said, I believe. Oh, okay. I'm getting some good stuff now. Public chat is disabled. I'm new, and this is my first time I'll be working with Vistas. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see what else.
Janice?
Yes, are you seeing the chat?
Yes, I see the chat, and they should be able to choose all participants.
Yes. If you go to the chat and choose all participants, then everyone will see what you're writing. So new, first time, okay. And someone said something about authenticity. That is, found this presentation helpful, focused on retention. Absolutely. Positive change, you become a magnet. So become that magnet for retention. Thank you, Rebecca. And someone mentioned authenticity. It's okay if you're leading positive change to say, gee, this is hard at times. It's hard. So let's all, join together and support each other. It's okay to admit that. I feel I'm already naturally embodied much of what you talked about. Validated by their trust. All right. Great job. That's wonderful. And follow up, yes, follow up. Yes, this isn't a one-time deal. This is, start, create your blue sky vision and keep it going. All right, so let's see. Certainly thought-provoking challenge. Oh, all right, Dave. Great thought. Impact a positive comeback like karma. Absolutely. I mean, positivity begets more positivity. So, and I didn't see that last one. Let me see if I can go back. But great. I don't want to miss anything. This is all good stuff. Thank you for all the conversation here in our chat. Anything else that is coming to mind that? Oh, good. Okay. Let's see. Making sure I don't miss anything. I found the idea of having a vision for where you want to go and to share that. Yes, that's absolutely critical. You can't lose sight of the vision, because if you do, people start sinking back into, oh, let's just keep things the way they are. So it's important. That's the storytelling, the vision. Here's where we're going. It's okay. This is exciting. We're going all together. I like this stuff. This is good. We need more of this positive leadership. You all give me hope, Vistas and Vista leaders, that you're out there doing all this good stuff. That gives me hope. Explaining why, yes. Important. Say no, set limits, and explain why. Absolutely, absolutely. These are great comments. Okay. And authenticity and thought-provoking. All right. Well, thank you for all these comments and any actually embodied. Yes, feel very validated. Perfect. Any other thoughts or comments? Any questions? Did you get my email address? If you want this, you can certainly have it. I guess I mean how to do so positively. Okay. Yes, absolutely. So saying no and setting limits in a positive way, absolutely. People need structure. They need, they don't want to just feel like they're flailing. So being positive, saying here's where we're going to go, and hold, like being the container of it, if you will. Like being a container. You've got the vision, you're getting everyone on board, and you're moving forward together. Those are great comments. Thank you for sharing these. If someone, there's a question about someone, if someone brings a lot of negativity, I mean, not everybody thinks positively, and a lot of people don't. And how do you work with that? You can't change them, can't change other people, but you can change yourself. So the idea, what you would do is to be positive, to be kind, to be compassionate. Maybe ask that person ask some questions. Be curious about just who they are. Just give them some attention. Maybe listen, but always as a positive leader, embody that positivity, and that will become contagious to other people. Maybe not everyone. Some people are just going to be negative, and that is their choice. But your choice is to be positive and to lead positive change. And that role model is essential. You being the role model of that. You holding that. Okay, does that help? Any other thoughts, comments? We have a few more minutes.
And Dennis, let me know when you want me to open the poll, please.
Okay. Yes, it does. Okay. All right. So I think, we've had a lot of great conversation through the chat. I don't see any more comments or questions. So if you wouldn't mind, Kapila will put up a short poll. It's very brief. And if you wouldn't mind completing that for us, and then we will let you go. And if you want the slides, as I said, I'm happy to share them with you. So thank you for your kind attention, and really appreciate all the good work that you do. You make the world a better place for all of us. So thank you for that.